Stellar Blade just came out for the PC, and this is a game that I really enjoyed when it first came out on PlayStation. I know a lot of you are gonna be trying it for the first time on PC. It's a really fun game, and it does have a lot more about it than first meets the eyes. So I figured why not make a guide for this game, cover some of the basics and more into the advanced stuff as you go on. Before we jump into the combat and the basics of it, I just want to give you two tips, general tips about this game. The first one is to go into the settings and turn the auto loot option on. There is no inventory system in Stellar Blade. You would never have a reason not to pick up items, so just turn this one on so that you don't have to go through the hassle of manually picking up everything. That just saves you a lot of time and energy. And the second tip is to just explore and have fun with the game, right? If you're doing a lot of exploration, checking out the side missions, you will find a ton of like health upgrades and energy upgrades. Playing it too linearly and focusing on the main story will probably leave you a little bit underpowered. You will need these extra skill points, and exploration and doing the side missions can even affect the ending of the game. Obviously not gonna spoil anything, so it is something that you gotta keep in mind. Take your time, power up yourself, because just opening up new abilities will make Eve even a lot more fun to handle. And you'll be doing a lot of things in Stellar Blade that are really fun, from sliding, shooting, even fishing, but obviously the main attraction here is combat. Combat is the star of the show, and what's here is actually really good and really fun. But to do well in combat, you first need to understand the basics of it and understand how everything works. See, with each enemy you will notice that they do have like 3 bars attached to them. The first one is the HP bar, and that kinda makes sense. You hit them, it will deplete. The second one is their shields, and when enemies have shields on, they will take reduced damage. So you wanna damage their shields first, because that will open up your abilities to do a lot more damage to their health bar. Kinda makes sense, right? And the third bar, this couple of diamonds, that is their balance. You wanna knock off enemies from their balance and make them drowsy, make them groggy, and then you can do one of your big retribution. These are like really sexy, badass cinematic animations that will deal massive damage to your enemies. We will cover more about retributions as we go on, but you can't just go in guns blazing and attacking the opponents in a game like Stellar Blade. You first need to know how to defend yourself. The first basic ability is kinda obvious, just blocking by pressing I'm gonna use the PlayStation notations. By pressing the L1 button, Eve will assume a blocking stance, and you can move actually while blocking, and you will just block incoming attacks. This is really good. And one tip that maybe you don't know is that you can actually block projectile attacks as well. So blocking is kind of like the safest way to approach an attack from the opponent. If you time your block just right when the attack is about to touch Eve, you will trigger a perfect parry. And perfect parries are probably like the strongest defensive options in Stellar Blade, because not only will they negate all damage, but also it will damage your opponent's balance meter, and when you knock all of their balance diamonds off, when you knock the meter down, they will enter this groggy state where you will be able to hit them with a retribution attack. The other main form of defense in Stellar Blade are gonna be dodges, and dodges typically don't have iframes. You don't wanna mash it, and in general with Stellar Blade you don't wanna mash, and I will go over that more in depth later. But if you happen to time your attack just right, you can get a perfect dodge, and that do have iframes and will let you get out of your opponent's attack. There are also 2 other special type of dodges. The first one is when the opponents turn blue. Once Eve's blade turn blue, you press forward and dodge, and then she will move up behind them and do a counter. This will leave the enemy stunned. The other one is a purple dodge, where you press backward and dodge, and this will like leave the enemy vulnerable, and they will reveal their weak spot. Typically if you attack them with a projectile at that point, it will deal a lot of damage. So basically it goes like this. Regular attacks you can just block or perfect parry. If the opponent's flash is yellow, this means that this is an unblockable and you're gonna have to dodge it. If they flash blue, you dodge to them, forward and dodge. If they flash purple, it's a back dodge. And I know what you're gonna try to say, Mura, I'm gonna play this game defensively, I'm gonna just parry and dodge everything, wait for the retribution, and the retributions are really cool and really sexy, so I don't blame you. But if you try to play Stellar Blade just defensive, you're gonna be doing yourself a disservice, because the game gives you a lot of options for aggression. Calculated aggression is the name of the game here, and the game gives you a ton of way for for you to attack while being able to defend yourself. The first one is a basic concept of animation cancelling. You see, when you're going for any combo, and that's why I was telling you not to mash, when you're going for any combo, you can cancel the startup frame of the next attack into a block. And if you happen to time it right with your opponent, that is when you will get to trigger a perfect parry. If the attack does come out, if you actually whiff, there is a little bit of recovery at the end, so you have to be careful of that. That's why I'm telling you don't mash, and be careful of your timing and which actual combo you're pressing. But if you're timing it just right, if you're getting that tempo down, you'll be able to actually attack the opponent, perfect parry in time, deal damage to them while being able to defend yourself, damaging their balance and going for amazing retributions. You will be unstoppable. And there are even some other tools that are really easy to use. Special moves. You've got access to some special moves, and when you use them, it will hit the enemies out of their attack startup. The L1 and square one in particular is really good because it's really fast and reliable, so you can use that when they're about to attack and keep going on the offense. Remember the color-coded dodges as well, the blue dodge and the purple dodge. You can do this whenever, so even if you're mid-attack string and the opponent happen to start one and you see the blade glowing blue, just press forward and circle and bam, you got it down. So just them flashing blue or purple, that is a flash for you to just go in, get some hits in before going for the dodge. And there are even air attacks, and the thing about this game is that it does have excellent hitboxes. So if you're in the air and attacking them, the air combo is actually really powerful and you can get out of the way of their attacks and land some damage. The air combo is really good. The only downside to it is obviously you can't block in the air, so there is a little bit of risk to it, but if you especially open the upgrade where you just down dive kicks towards them, that can stun them as well and let you do good damage, so it's good. But obviously you're gonna get hit a little bit and you will wanna heal some of your wounds. And the thing about Stellar Blade is using any of the recoverable HP items have a lot of startup, and typically the enemies will hit you out of that startup if you're not careful, and I'm sure if you play this game in any capacity, you have encountered this. Here's the thing, you can heal while sprinting, so activate the health item and just run out of the way, get yourself as safe as possible, and that is just about the best way for you to heal if you're in a pinch while wanting to be as safe as possible. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the video. If you're liking the video so far but you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I mean, we got an amazing team going up. Join the Mura's EX-Men. We even got like the Emma and Magneto combo, so you know we're gonna dominate. Excuse the silliness and enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so let's now move over into some of the more advanced tips. And the thing about this game, like I said, is that you have access to special moves, and you will get two sets of them, the beta skills and the burst skills, and knowing how to use them effectively will go a very long way in making you efficient with the combat of Stellar Blade. The first beta skill we're gonna cover is Triplet, the L1 and square one, and this one is really fast, so it's really good to use if you wanna keep on the aggression and interrupt your enemies out of their attack startup. It is single target focused, so use it against like a singular mob, that is really powerful, and against bosses it can be really useful. The second skill is the slash, right? And this one is one of your main area of effects attack when you're surrounded by enemies. This one can be really good. It deals good damage, but it has startup and you can get hit out of the startup, so you kind of have to be careful. But it got a big AoE, so it's good if you are surrounded by enemies and you want to get them off of you, hit multiple of them at the same time. This is your go-to. Next up we got the Shockwave, and the Shockwave is pretty much your only special projectile move, and this one, especially if upgraded, can be really nasty, but maybe we're gonna talk about that at a later video. But this one is one of your main projectile moves, and the thing about this move is because it's considered a projectile, if you happen to trigger a reball, that is the purple dodge, you can initiate it and it will deal, oh my god, massive damage to your opponent. So when I attack your opponents from a distance or after reballs, Shockwave can deal absolutely massive damage. The final beta ability is the Shield Breaker, or as I like to call it, the double somersault. This one is insane, and as the name implies it is a shield breaker. This is your ability that deals the most damage to enemy shields. So this one is kinda nasty, especially if you upgrade it to that it knocks the opponents down. You can loop enemies and even bosses with this one, and it will deal massive damage to their shields, and once the shields are down, everything else you do will deal massive damage as well. So here is the thing about Stellar Blade. Here is the dance of the combat. You will attack your opponents, and as you're attacking them, you are building up the beta energy that you'll be able to use on these special abilities, and perfect parries build use your energy gauge as well. So you will want to keep attacking, want to keep aggression, building up beta skills, use them, knock them down, deplete their shields, attack them, deal massive area of effect, deal massive projectile damage, and that is how that dance goes. And that's why I was telling you aggression, controlled aggression can go a very long way because attacking builds you beta energy. But Eve also have access to burst techniques, and burst techniques, the burst meter can be increased by perfect dodging, by going for the blue dodge or the purple dodge, or by going for retribution attacks. All of them will build you burst gauge, and burst abilities are another 4 set of abilities that can be really good. The first ability is the one with R1 plus X, is an install. It does have like an attack at the startup, and then Eve enters overdrive states where attacks become faster and they deal more damage, and this one is really good just as a passive buff that will overall increase your damage and attack speed. It can be really helpful, especially on the higher difficulties. The second one is the descending break, and oh my god, this one is absolutely amazing. Not only does it look extremely sexy, but also it deals massive area of effect damage. Once upgraded, it will knock down the opponent and it can damage their balance meter. This is one of the very few ways in which you can inflict balance damage to the enemies. And remember, when you knock them out of balance, they will enter the retribution, and this will give you the sexy cool looking animation. But retribution also gives you burst energy, so it kind of loops into itself. This one is fantastic and is super useful later on in the game against tougher enemies and against bosses when you just want to get that retribution attack going. It's great, it's fantastic. The L1 and square attack is also really good. It deals massive damage, and this is one of your main area of effect screen clearer. It will get everyone away off of you, and once you upgrade it, it will knock them down, giving you even more space to heal, to go on for an aggressive combo. This one is a very good defensive tool as well. And finally, we got the R1 plus circle ability. This is probably the flashiest special move that Eve got. And it looks amazing, and it is amazing. It will deal massive damage to everyone on screen. But here's the thing about this move. It got invincibility frames throughout the entire casting time. So when enemies are aggressing you, if you're fighting a boss and they're going for a big attack that you're unable to avoid, it costs 4 ticks, so it costs a lot, but this one can like make you invincible throughout anything that you're going against. So it can save you if there's an attack that you can dodge, if you're low on HP, if you're surrounded by enemies. You can just use it, get out of there, and deal massive damage doing it. This one have a lot of utility beside being really cool. And that's about it for the basics and a little bit of advanced guide for Stellar Blade. There's a lot more I haven't covered, like using the guns, different ammos, which skills to unlock early, the power-up state, but I don't want to give any spoilers, so I didn't cover it. There's a lot more to this game, and the combat in it is absolutely addicting. It's a beautiful dance, just like Eve. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages. Let me know if you want to see more of this in the future, and I will definitely do so if there is demand. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.